Hi there. I'd like to tell you a little story, but because I'm on this end and can't see you as I tell the story, we're going to pause ever so often so that I can learn a little about you as well as find out whether my story makes sense to you. Let's give it a try. I think I'll begin by asking, have you ever been afraid to try something new? And now I'll pause the video so that you can respond. Go ahead, tell me a bit about you. You did a great job responding. Okay, I think we're ready for the story. First, let's set the tone for a little reminiscing. There we go. Growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, kids are exposed to a lot of different types of cuisine, from traditional German and Polish sausage to cheese curds and everything in between. If you have a taste for it, you can find it in Milwaukee. What's your favorite food? Well, when I was growing up, both my mom and dad were really great cooks. When they divorced, it was easy to feel spoiled at mealtimes. No matter whose house my sister and I visited, there would always be a great homemade meal, and as a rule, my sister and I were usually sent to go play while meal preparation commenced. On Wednesdays, Dad always packed our school lunches. I remember always looking forward to his handwritten note. In fact, now that I think about it, he still leaves me notes when he comes to visit. He's such a thoughtful guy. How about you? Did you ever or do you receive notes from a loved one? I digress. So both of my parents were great cooks. Dad always talked about opening a little restaurant of his own, just a little place that'd be open until noon so he could make folks breakfast and then enjoy the rest of his day. The restaurant never came to be, but you have a good idea of how my mom and dad's cooking for their family was integrated into my upbringing. What do you suppose was the result of this upbringing? Let's see if you were right. As a result of all of those hearty meals and not really getting a chance to see how they were made, I never really developed a healthy curiosity about cooking. So in my young adult years, until just a few years ago, I really hadn't learned how to cook more than just a few dishes. Of course, there was always a good meal waiting for me by my mom's or dad's house, but fast food had become a staple in my life. Oy, not good. Over time, as I paid bills each month, I'd tally up how much I spent on groceries and how much I'd spend on fast food, salads, soups, and chicken dishes. The balance always tipped toward the restaurants. Over time, this wore down on me. See, I fancy myself a money-conscious individual, and I knew it was a waste of money to eat out nearly every day. For a long time, I knew I needed to make a change. I decided to look for cooking classes. After some searching, I found Sur La Table, a kitchen store at the streets at South Point in Durham. They offered a myriad of class selections, and to me the best part was that the classes were one-offs, meaning you came, you learned how to make a dish, you ate, and then you left the class ready to sign up for another one. I signed up, but I was nervous. What if the others in the class thought it was ridiculous that I didn't know much about cooking? What if I was asked to do something and I wouldn't know how to get started? What if my lack of knowledge made the instructors slow down to a snail's pace and we'd never get our meal ready? You could say I had a touch of anxiety about the whole thing. I asked my mom to go with me so that I'd have some moral support as I tried this new experience. As it turned out, my fears were unfounded. The chef explained each step as we went along, and she paid attention to where our skill levels were and knew when to come over and help. It was fun watching my mom learn a new thing or two as well. We worked on a chicken dish, some lovely quinoa, and a delicious salad, all with a Mediterranean flair. Now I can say I know how to cook a Mediterranean dish, and I'd definitely make it again. All of the food from that evening was amazing. I certainly gained an appreciation for spices. If you want to learn some new cooking skills, I highly recommend Sur La Table, if just for the atmosphere and experience alone. So my tale now comes to an end. Let's circle back to the beginning and revisit the first question I asked you. You let me know whether or not you've ever been afraid to try something new. If you answered yes, how did you make it through? What gave you your strength? If you've never been afraid to try something new, what gives you your courage? Very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you listening and for participating. I enjoyed telling you my little story, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.